people were like, oh, she's white, but she looks kind of Asian, so she did plastic surgery. She's not allowed in K-pop. Lana is racist. I was like shaking, not because I'm just debuting, because I was really afraid of this hate.
Yeah.
I have to do it well. I have to do it well, you know?
Have you ever spoken about your side of this story online before?
It's my first time, I
It's
guess.
your first time?
It's my first time.
The fact that they didn't even let her actually explain herself and just kept it in the silence is wild.
You are a trainee, you are nothing for them. And you have to listen to everything they say. Also, I'm a foreigner. They say, like, what do you know about Korean industry? Like, just shut up. And he was like, called me and asked me, why you don't make money? And I was like begging for my comeback. They sent me to China to do Survivor show.
Yeah.
And after that Survivor show, I just came back really different person. I need to escape from here.
Hey guys, welcome to the Korean Pizza Club KPC podcast. I'm your host, David Kim. Today we have co-host Subini with us today, and we have our special guest, Lana, here.
Yay!
And today we're going to talk about Lana's journey throughout her whole career. And if you're familiar with the online hate she received years back before, she's actually going to reveal the behind the scenes, her side of the story, and you will be shocked. Yeah, so we're going to talk about Lana's journey of dealing with online hate, criticism, her message about mental health, and all of that.
All of that good stuff.
In the music industry, in the K-pop industry, and all that. Could you please introduce yourself briefly to our audience?
Hi, I'm Lana.
Is that it?
I thought it was like an AI, like, hi, I'm Lana. Yeah, it's like, I'm Lana.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like struggling when I do my introduction because I don't know what to mention about me first. I'm Lana, I'm singer, and yeah, I've been living in Korea for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
10 years,
Yeah.
Very long
yes.
time.
So I'll do a little bit more for her. So Lana is well known for being the first K-pop soloist of Russian descent, and she debuted on June 27, 2019 with the single Take the Wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now it's her 5th year already. She speaks Russian, English, Mandarin, and Korean. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Google.
Wow.
And if you want to know about her in detail and her recent song Circus, go check out our new interview series, KPC Walk in the Neighborhood. Yeah, that's our
Oh my gosh, I love it. Yeah, it was really KPC Walk.
Yeah. We just literally walked through the Gongwon, the park, and the cafe.
Yeah.
It was a little hot. I apologize.
Yeah, I was
No, it
thinking
was
that.
fine,
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, look forward to that. And welcome again. So before we actually get into like how we handle like the online criticism and stuff, I think our viewers deserve some context on like, who are these people? Why are they talking about online hate? Well, I assure you, we've had our fair shares. So some personal incidents or cases you are open to like just share. Like, could you know, I just want to be careful because it could be sensitive or traumatizing, but whichever much you want to share to the audience, like what were some personal cases that, you know, you've suffered from online hate or something like that? Yeah.
I mean, if you know me, you know as well that I've been hated by international K-pop fans a lot, even before debuting as a solo artist. And there was a lot of rumors about me that was
Ridiculous.
kind of crazy, yes. And as I was in a Korean company, I couldn't manage them like doing something because my company actually like they didn't know how to do this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were not prepared for that. And actually they have no people that can speak in English.
What?
That was crazy. Yes. And that's why I was like, I knew about that, but I didn't know what to do with that. That's why I was in this kind of situation when I had to kind of just keep my mental strong. And yeah, I was kind of alone.
Wait, so you were
journey.
in a one-man battle, like nobody was backing you up. You were just there. And
No one.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I never thought about that because I feel like if you're Korean and you're in K-pop, you could just like get a lawyer and be like, I'm gonna sue you for commenting about that. But then if there's like more international comments, it's gonna be really hard for a Korean company to handle that.
Right.
I've never thought about that ever.
Right. So since the main source of hate was coming from international fans, it would be more hard, like legally or you know, PR wise, to deal with them.
Yeah,
You can't really do anything.
that was kind of interesting because before debut, I thought that international fans will support me a lot more than Korean
fans,
K-pop fans. I was like, oh, Korean people maybe will not like me because I'm not Korean at all. I'm like totally foreigner. That's why I was like kind of 걱정, had this 걱정. But that was really like shocking to me when I saw this hate, especially in Twitter.
Twitter
Twitter's hard.
a wild place.
But really good thing that I didn't know how to use Twitter. I had no Twitter.
Okay.
That's why I couldn't like check everything. I didn't know how to check it.
That was in your benefit.
But the most interesting thing that I got, the most hate I got was from American K-pop fans.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Like my company told me, and I was like, "Oh my god, that was."
What did you do wrong to America?
I didn't expect that because I thought that this like American people are free mind, like
they're free-minded, more inclusive too.
More like they will be chill about it, like oh yeah, it's really good when someone opened the door to internationally into the K-pop, right? But I was totally wrong. That was like opposite. They were really toxic. They were like, you're not allowed to be in K-pop. Who are you? You're like white, and that was kind of really
wait, you're white? What does that even like? Where is that even coming from?
Everybody knows that I'm Russian. And they were like, yo, you have no Asian blood, what are you doing in K-pop? That was kind of crazy because actually I just wanted to be a singer, not a K-pop singer. I never told anyone myself that I'm a K-pop singer. Never. I was like, I'm an artist, or I was just like, I'm a soul singer. This is it. But everyone was just like, oh, she trying to
be a K-pop
idol. And I was like, who told you that? Like, what's going on here? And after that, like, you know how Twitter works. One rumor, second rumor is bigger and bigger.
And people keep talking about it. It gets like a thread.
It gets blown out of proportion, spirals out.
And went to really racist kind of hate to one country. Like, there is a lot of kind of hate, right? Someone hated me because of my appearance, because I kind of...
How would someone hate you of your appearance? I mean...
Because they're jealous.
I mean, as a guy, I'm like,
I don't
understand.
Like, I could feel like girls could be jealous, and that would be like the comments
That's what I'm thinking too. Because like, as a dude, like nobody could hate her, honestly.
Literally.
You know? In our vlog, we were like, who wouldn't want to date Lana?
I know.
We were talking about that, but I guess like the K-pop fandom is like mostly girls, and like jealousy might have been a part.
So it's maybe I think it's because I have a little bit of this Asian look. Because I'm not 100% Russian. Like I had some Tatar, like it's kind of Mongolian kind of blood. So I never was like into this deep information before. Like I never told, oh, actually I'm quarter Tatar. No one know who Tatar is, right? So I was just like, oh, I'm Russian. This is it, because my nationality in passport is Russian, right? That's why people were like, oh, she's like white, she's not allowed in K-pop, but she looks kind of Asian, so she did plastic surgery.
What?
That went crazy in Twitter. Everyone was just like, oh, you mean this Koreaboo girl that did plastic surgery? And I was like,
to look Korean, to do K-pop.
Look like Korean.
Oh my gosh.
And that's why she do K-pop. And I was laughing when I first
saw the comments.
It's just ridiculous.
Heard about that because I never in my life heard that I made plastic surgery to look like Asian.
Oh.
Like that's crazy because I was hated in Russia back to the days because I look kind of Asian to Russians.
Oh my gosh.
And I really hated my face. Like back to the days. I thought I'm really ugly. I struggled for years. And someone is just changed totally.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
People told me that.
You were hated there and then you come here and now the standards change.
Yes. I think this is kind of Tanjong being kind of mixed face because that's kind of hard.
That's crazy.
Wow.
So these people were basically saying you don't belong in K-pop because you have these features. You're white, but you look Asian. So therefore, they concluded you got plastic surgery to become like a Korean.
Yeah.
And none of that is true.
None of them.
Yeah.
I did no plastic surgery. And also, they were like spreading rumors that I myself told, saying I'm Korean.
Oh.
That's why people start to call me Koreaboo. I didn't know what it is actually.
Koreaboo.
Yeah. And there was a kind of issues because my company, like workers, they didn't speak English.
They don't know.
They were really poor in English. That's why some people that manage my channel, YouTube channel, and other SNS, they just liked every comment.
What?
And that was like,
I'm sorry for laughing, but that was just hilarious. Like,
but I do know what that means though. To have no like English speaking people in entertainment, it goes
crazy
south. And if I know how to speak English, I could be like, oh no, like we can't do this, we shouldn't do that. But if you think about like even why there's so many controversies in K-pop and like why some groups get more hate is because there's no management of that.
Totally.
It's so important because SNS is like so much bigger now. Like you can't be making those mistakes.
It just doesn't make sense because they're debuting like an international artist in the K-pop sphere, and if they're not, geared up with English-speaking personnel, that just doesn't make sense.
Did you ever like think about asking like, can I have like a manager who can speak English or like? I'm pretty sure, right? No, you didn't ask.
I was not in that position.
Oh, really?
I already mentioned to you that you can't say anything because you are new, like you are a trainee, you are nothing for them. And you have to listen everything they say. Also, I'm a foreigner. They say like, what do you know about Korean industry? Like, just shut up. Something like this.
No.
That's why you minor there. There is no support at all. Maybe in my company, that people like, I don't blame them because they have their own life, their own like struggles, whatever. But the boss of the company was really toxic person. That's why all the workers were really stressed every single day.
Can't say anything.
That's why they didn't care about my career at all, about me too. That's why they were not on my side. They were like, what are you talking about? Like, do whatever. Like, they always was not on my side. And I'm a solo, right? That's why I'm every single day I train by myself alone from 10 to 10. 2 years like that was like hell to me because no one can help me. You
were here alone too, right? Without your parents.
Without my parents.
Oh my gosh.
Like even my place where I was living was so dark without any sunlight. I was so stressed, and just imagine you being hated in the internet too. And you
did nothing. You didn't even debut.
And that was crazy. Even though I debuted, I was like, so this is the start of the real hate. I was already pressured by that hate. And I knew that whatever I do, they will hate more because they're just haters. Haters don't need any reason like
to
whatever.
Hate. They'll find any little point to hate.
And on my first stage, I already like talked to you about
Show
that.
Champion,
actually, like maybe you know or you're not. Like there is a stage and some audience, just a little bit of people. But they're like real fans of groups, right? So if you're new, like no one knows you.
Right.
And no one applauds, like no applause, nothing. And you are just, they're kind of look like this.
Because they're just waiting for you to be done with your song so that they can wait for their idol to come up.
I think that's a real problem with K-pop fandoms because it's kind of disrespectful, you know, like even if that's not your, you know, stan group or like your favorite group, if a performer is in front of you and like she's performing or singing, like at least give some attention and, you know, be respectful, like, you know, at least applaud or anything. But like you were on the stage for a bit. Like, have you experienced something similar to that?
You know what's so wild? So we were very underrated, and what people would do is, if you know how in certain there's only a certain amount of fans that can go for the group.
Yeah.
So let's just say, I don't know, BTS came out. They can only have 10 or like so many fans, like selected fans. Other fans would sign up for us, like an underrated group, to come in as a fan.
Oh.
And I know like who like the fans are, especially if you're like an underrated group. You don't have much fans. They're like, you know who your fans are. And I'm just like, they're like all cheering. I'm like, oh, who are these people? And then later on, I realized they just signed up.
Oh, so they abuse the system.
They abuse the system to get in, and also,
oh my god,
yeah, but that's happens so much.
I didn't know about that.
That actually happens. So you think like you're like, oh, we have like new fans. Like, wow, they're not new fans. They're just people who are trying to use the thing. Yeah.
Well, Lana, when this happened, and then you know, you must have felt awful and stuff. But how did you like, you know, after debut? Did this continue, or like did it just fade away, or?
That was kind of really hard time for me because even my company, they really like pushed me, and I already told you my boss was really toxic person. He called me like 2 or 3 weeks after debuting, and you know, idols don't get paid. Like we don't make a lot of money on streaming or whatever. Only if you're like Blackpink level or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
So 3 weeks after debut, right? I did not a lot of music shows. I did not a lot of TV shows. Yeah, promotions. Nothing. And he was like, called me and asked me, why you don't make money?
What? Isn't that his job?
That's his job to put you on the shows. What do you mean?
Literally, my face was like, what? Even me, like, I'm not a really experienced businessman or whatever. And I was like,
what?
So he was like, you know, the mood changed a lot. Like every single day. He was like, for example, called me and it was like, yo, let's prepare for a comeback. Next day.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good idea.
That's very toxic. Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of, you know, roller coaster to me emotionally.
Yeah.
And I was like begging for my comeback.
I think that's what they want to do. They want to see you beg, or they want to feel higher. So they're like, they want to be like, oh, like I have control over when you do your comeback, if I'm going to let you have your comeback. And then they kind of like do that mental
kind of gaslighting.
Yeah, it's like gaslighting.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Super gaslighting.
Well, you had hate online. You were internally struggling with like the CEO and the boss and stuff.
That's crazy stuff. Like I didn't mention the workers couldn't speak good English, and there was like hate comments, right?
Yeah.
Something about my like nationality or something like racist kind of stuff, and they like liked every comment, right? There was a problem with that. There was a kind of
you need to erase those comments. Yeah.
There was one comment about something like Afro-American people and kind of white people kind of stuff. This, you know, this is really like 예민한 주제.
Yeah.
And worker just liked that comment. And that make a problem, and then make a rumor that Lana is racist. And she's a, and...
It's not like an official thing. They're the ones that are controlling your official, like, platforms, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah,
and
so
they
it makes it
didn't
look
know.
like... Yeah, nobody knows that she's actually... They have other people controlling her platforms. They think it's her controlling her platform.
What? So that made another rumor that you're racist.
Yeah, and that was big, kind of big. And the worker came to me and was like, I didn't know. Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
And you know, I was sitting like,
This is a shit show.
what? Like, can we make something to like announce something and blah blah blah?
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, this popularity too. We
I've
shouldn't.
heard this before, and like it gives me trauma.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
And they had no plans for my like future career, and I saw all of that, but they were like, your style, what concept? I don't know. What do you think? You have to know your concept better than we are. And I was like, yo, you even don't give me chance to say my opinion. And they were like, oh really? Just call workers and like, she has an opinion, listen to her opinion about concept. I was like 22 or whatever years old, and I was like, okay.
Do you think New Jeans came up with all those concepts? There's like a person called Minijin behind that, like doing all that. So that just doesn't make sense.
And I kept that things inside, and you know how it's hard to keep it inside when you have the contract and you can't say it to like other people. And I'd be like, oh, what am I gonna do? Like it's the end. It's I already saw that like it can't work at all, and I was like, I need to escape from here.
The Korea you meet for the first time. The Korea you meet at last. These moments are both called biroso. At biroso, we bring the essence of Korea to your doorstep. From traditional handmade crafts and home decor, to the latest in fashion and accessories. Discover authentic Korean products crafted by local artisans and master creators. Visit biroso.net and enjoy fast global shipping, customer service, and a 10% discount on your first purchase with the code KPC. Rediscovering Korea, biroso.
Wow, that's some story. But like, I just want to ask. I've heard of the controversy like indirectly, but have you ever spoken about your side of this story online or before?
It's my first time, I guess.
It's your first time?
It's my first time.
That's so shocking.
Yeah,
to me
the fact that they didn't even let her even like talk about it or, you know, like actually explain herself and just kept it in the silence is wild. Like it's just...
Those haters should be watching this right now. They better be watching this right now, and they should come and apologize for sure. Because that is just crazy. But like, okay, well, thank you for sharing your story. That's like crazy. So now we know what really happened behind the scenes. All misunderstandings, all assumptions, all just crazy fans making shit up. That's the nature of Twitter sometimes. I know a little bit about it. So like, okay, I didn't receive this much hate, obviously, but as a YouTuber myself, I have some experiences as well, just to share one. I mean, probably I got canceled by all the major fandoms out there, ARMY, you know, Agassi, like...
Links.
And honestly, it wasn't my fault. I'll just say that. I was a duo with another friend, and he was a very like vocal person about his views. Like, and he would say, like, if I don't like this, I don't like this. And you know how K-pop fandoms are. They're like, if you don't like say good stuff about your fan, they cancel you really hard. And then the logic was, this guy's a friend of his, so he probably is the same kind of person. And then they would just cancel our channel. And then, like, there's this one incident. My partner said something, you know, controversial about like BTS, and then over a night we lost how many 20,000 subscribers.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
And then ARMY trended a diss track from BTS and made it #1 on iTunes. And then hashtag, it was like cancel DKDKTV was #1 globally on Twitter.
Oh my god.
And there was like rumors coming out about my partner. He's like a pedophile. He's like whatever, and like crazy stuff.
Crazy.
Yeah, and then of course, like when you're in that situation, you can't think properly. I think you have a very strong mentality there. But my partner, he was like a little bit more, you know, we were just like YouTubers, you know. So like he really couldn't deal with the situation, so he kind of like, you know, shut down on like everything. But I wanted to like, you know, address my side of the story. Like that's not how it is. Like there are a lot of misinformation out there, but it just got worse. And then they made stuff out from my live stream and my apology and whatever. So he's apologizing. He's admitting that he was wrong. And like whatever you say in that situation, it just gets worse.
It gets worse.
Yeah. And then I was so like, you know, traumatized
Yeah.
by that, and I was like, you know, that kind of went on throughout my career here and there with a lot of fandoms. So I was like, I'm kind of done with K-pop. You know, let me just get out of this space because of the fandom. It was like, you know, I couldn't take it. Now I'm a little bit more comfortable in KPC. You know, I can talk more deeper stories about like just Korean culture and stuff. But yeah, I have my fair share of hate there, and it was not easy. It was not easy.
Like, I have a question for both of you guys. So like, how did you guys kind of cope with like all of the hate? Like, what was your like coping mechanism? Like, what's your way of relieving the stress to kind of get away from it? Because for me, I was in a group, so I would talk to my members about it. For Lana, she's, you know, soloist, so it's gonna be so much harder to cope. Like, at least we can talk like within our members, like, oh my god, today, I can't believe he said that. Like, we have somebody to talk about it with. So I was like kind of curious how your coping mechanisms would be. Just did you have any coping mechanisms
at all?
At all? You just kept it in? No?
I was really weak, actually. Like, I was 17 when I first came to Korea. So my adult life was literally all in Korea. And makeup, everything I learned here. That's why I, like, myself, I don't like separate people by nationality. I don't have this, like, you know, borders, whatever. I think it's like, it's normal to share something. It's really international, right? But people didn't think so. And I was like, I don't want to be hated more. Please, like, give me that look.
Can I get Western style makeup?
Yes. I was really like stressed by that. I also couldn't sing very well. I could say that while singing, I already was thinking about hate and how people talking about me on the stage. That's why I was like shaking. Like, I was literally like that. When we're starting, not because I'm just debuting, because I was really afraid of this hate. Like, I have to do it well. I have to do it well, you know?
Oh my god.
And I tried to like pretend that I'm okay. And after that, I go home. Because I just started my career, there is no fans. But some Russian people, they like protected me because, you know, same nationality. They were like, yeah, let's see what she can do. Like,
give her a
future.
chance.
Because I was solo, there was no one to protect me. Like, for example, members. I think if I were in the group, that
it would have been better.
Oh yeah, yes, much better. But because I'm alone, people see me as a target. She has no fans. More hate, like, you know, no one to protect me.
That's cyberbullying.
So I was like, okay, how I can
be okay?
Be okay. And I was just like thinking of that people that hate you. Like,
you were thinking of them.
What kind of people they are.
Okay.
Like, and I realized all of, like, literally 90% of them are really young,
immature,
girls, that don't know life. They only know their, like, for example, K-pop, their like group they like. These young people, they see, for example, 2 or 3 comments and they're hate comments, right? And they just repeat.
They believe it's true, and they just like
it's just opinion repeaters, right? So that's why I was like, oh, when I realized that, I was like, 불쌍하다. It's like, it's okay to me because they will, like, in the future about that situation, they will think they were so like
immature.
I think that's why I made my YouTube channel, because I went through so much of like stuff in K-pop that I wanted to inform people who don't know the inside of K-pop, because they only think like, oh, it's an idol, they get to dance and sing. It's so much more to that, and that's why I wanted to make a YouTube channel to, you know, talk about that. So I think I kind of understand where you're getting at. Like, you want to, you know, let people know, and you just think, oh, like, they don't know, so you want to let them kind of like know.
And I think that's like a nice way to cope with it, because when you're in that situation, it's either you seek help from your loved ones or you know, family or something, but you didn't have that option. So your option was to like, okay, these people don't know anything, they're young girls, they're immature, I'm not gonna like think of that too much. When I was in that situation too, I kind of became aggressive at some point, and I was like, whenever I see a hate comment during a live stream or whatever, I said like, "Oh, you're a jobless person at home, just scratching your balls and eating chips and whatever, and like doing this like." And they get triggered and they all that, but like I get what you're saying, because I do that often too.
But it's kind of true, because what I think, succeed people never hate someone. They don't have time for that.
Exactly.
They don't have time for this.
Hearing this story is just crazy. I feel so bad because like at least 𝙀𝙀𝙘 had like a group, and I at least had a partner, and then I had like a huge part of my own fandom too. They were called the Ducks, and then you can see them behind here. But anyways, like I had a lot of support, and even though I was canceled. So yeah, that was my coping mechanism. I mean, I tried to stay away from the comments. I had the similar tactics, mental tactics as you as well. These people they don't know better. They're just like immature people. I sought help from everyone around me that actually cared about me. So I think it would have been a more difficult battle for you because you were a soloist, the company wasn't supporting you, you were just debuted, so you didn't have a fandom back then. So just can't imagine how that happened. But going back to the topic of a Koreaboo thing, like normally, like Koreaboo, for people who don't know what a Koreaboo is, it's like a Korean person wannabe, I guess, that goes to the level of cringe, I think. It's like the prime example would be Ollie London, if you know who he is. I want to be like Jimin, and does like plastic surgery, and like it's over the top, and they like oppa 사랑해, all that kind of stuff. So that's what you call a Koreaboo, and like it doesn't even apply to Lana because we heard her story. Like there was nothing true about that anyway. But these people were just pushing that agenda, and I think at the end these people were just jealous. They were just jealous young girls that didn't know better. I mean, I'm not trying to defend them, but they were just immature, and they were like, oh, there's a pretty attractive, talented person who's debuting in K-pop, and it's just jealousy. It's just jealousy.
Sure. Even like, well, you actually debuted in 2019, right?
Yes.
So she was a lot earlier, but I feel like when XG debuted, they also got a lot of hate, but also a lot of people were open to them as well, which kind of makes me think if Lana like would have debuted like later
right
now, it would have also been like way different.
That's true. Because the climate has changed a lot.
Because if you have talent, people are just like, okay, anybody can do K-pop. Even like for XG, like when they came out, a lot of people at first they were like, oh, I don't know how I feel about it. They're like all Japanese members, but they're doing K-pop. But then once you start showing them and you really show them like, hey, I'm good at what I'm doing, I'm good at singing, dancing, I'm good at K-pop, then people are like open to it, but then they're giving people more chances now. But I feel like back then you probably didn't get to show that. To show that.
And I've interviewed a group called 𝙀𝙭𝙘𝙀 before, and they have a Russian member too. She's Nova, and they have an Indian member too. It's a multinational group, and there's so much support from the international fandom. There's also a group called Black Swan as well. They're like a multinational group. They have a lot of international fans. But yeah, like 𝙀𝙀𝙀 said a good point. Maybe it was the matter of timing. Like it was so early back then, and Lana was one of the pioneers.
Very early.
People weren't used to seeing like international people debuting, and they were like, oh, what is this? And then they got jealous. Like I want to ask your opinion on this. Do you think if you would have debuted a little bit later, like in the 2020s or like right now, do you think it would have been different?
Yes, and plus in a group.
I
think all the XG, right?
They're all like in a group.
They're all groups. Look at this. No one right now in K-pop industry want to do solo because it's really dangerous to do. Like look at me, because I'm alone. It's really easy to haters to like attack me. Because I have no support. But right now K-pop tries to make it more international, right? They put like other members from like other countries, right? Because it's actually helped to attract more international fans, right? but also they put Korean members there. It's like, you know,
a mix.
Yes. Also, it has to be mixed because it's K-pop. It still it's not really open. Still not really open, but open a little bit.
Open enough,
Yeah, but I think it takes time, and I debuted too early for that. And I didn't think it's really good idea to do solo even during that time. I was
opposing to that.
I was opposing that. I was like, no, it's not gonna work.
Oh, you wanted to be in a group.
It's too dangerous to do. Like I told them several times. They didn't even listen to me. I was like, oh my god.
Did you have any other people that you were training with, or were you the only trainer?
Yeah, there were like other trainees, but they just kicked out.
Just left?
Like, we're gonna like only debut you.
Really?
I already told you, boss was like roller coaster. Every single day, something new. Like, even though I was like, I got song, I was like preparing that, and he was like, yo, next month you have your first music show, prepare. We even didn't have music video. That's so fast for the preparing, and everyone was shocked. I was like, what? And everyone didn't know even why that happened. Like, that was really fast. He changed his opinion, I think, because of the money. Like, investing to the group is much more
expensive.
It's too costly, and girl group is not doing well as
boy group. Right.
And even I was like, I started to prepare as solo, right? He already starts to think about boy group. And I was like,
oh, he wasn't focusing
please
100%.
Just focus on what you have. And that was challenging, but I got a lot of fans from that situation, I think.
Right.
Because when you getting hate, there is someone to protect you. Actually, even though they're not your fans, some people become your fans
because of that. Oh, yes.
Right.
So I kind of feel I got my first fans from that situation. Yeah, especially that's why I have a lot of Russian fans, because they started, why you hate her because of the nationality. It's insane. Because a lot of people don't know about like my
your ethnicity.
Yes. That's why Russian people comes and say, oh, Russia is really big country. There's a lot of like ethnicities, like 180. So that's why people were explaining here and there. That's why they become like, you know, this kind of person.
Also, like when you were releasing Circus, your recent single, were you nervous about like what the reaction would be? Because you know, you're coming back again, and like you would obviously expect like hate comments as well. Did you expect that it might be a little bit different this time, or were you expecting it was going to be the same? Like, what was like your thought on that?
I'm not nervous at all.
Really? That's good. That's so good.
My mindset just changed a lot, because when you're not nervous and you kind of want to don't care about this reaction, you're really like kind of healthy, I can say, because you know, some people like so nervous, they want to see all the comments and whatever, like they check every comment. I think it's not healthy, because there will be hate. Even though you're Blackpink or BTS, there will be hate. Someone will not like your video, music, whatever, how you look, even how you like speak to people or whatever, like not even my voice. So I know it, and I don't expect something from the people, right? They don't pay my bills. They're not my family.
That's true.
I don't know who they are, but they know who I am. And I'd be like, okay, fine, it's just your taste. I don't care. And I know that I have fans. I know they're really supportive, and they just waited for many years for that, like for my music, for my comeback. That's why I was more into that.
You're just focusing on the positivity.
I was like, I'm doing this single for them. This is it. I know they will like it.
You're doing it for them. That's a great mindset. I should learn for that too, because I get affected by hate comments too. Like
Oh,
there are
yeah,
like
me too.
one or two, but it honestly gets on your mind.
Yeah.
I see like hundreds of comments saying
Same
like,
thing.
"I love you, David. I love your content. Thank you for doing this." But then you see like, "Oh, you're
Only
so
one.
yeah." That's just like you're thinking about in the shower and stuff.
And then
So
you don't want to do it, or you don't
Yeah.
want to make music, or you don't want to make content
right,
because of
right,
that.
right.
Yeah.
So it gets. I think it depends on personality as well. But I want to carefully say this. But like since you've been through that, all of that. Now you've matured as a human being, and now you know
Yeah.
it doesn't affect you. Like you're a queen now. It's just like
Yeah.
whatever.
So wait, when did your contract end with the other company?
It's ended at 2022.
So from 22 till you found like your recent company, what was like your mindset? Were you like, I'm never gonna do K-pop again, or I'm never gonna do music, or were you thinking like, am I gonna find a company that's going to be helping me? Because for me, I was like, oh, I'm never gonna do it again. But then I feel like you would have kind of had that phase where like, I really like music, but do I have to kind of give it up? Like, am I ever gonna find somebody who understands me for me? So yeah, I just was curious about that.
I thought that me as an artist can be really good artist, a good performer. I just need to find someone who appreciates it and
knows it.
Yes, how it's precious. Like meet this right person. But I knew that it's not Korean company at all because they don't think of you as a person. And I was like, no way, not Korean like company at all. I was something like this. I was really different person after I came back from China. When they sent me to China to do this
audition
survival show.
Yeah.
And after that survival show, I just came back really different person. I was saying what I want to say. I was like, what are you gonna do about it? Like,
I like that.
I was
like
like,
that.
That's great.
But honestly, you do become like that too. Even when you're in K-pop, at first you're like, okay, yes, nice. And then later on, towards the end, you're just like,
I don't care.
You're like, I don't want to.
Yes, right.
Sorry, like, no.
You have to experience.
You have to experience it.
Yeah.
You have to go through hardships to do it. It's a growing process.
Yeah.
So I just made money with my modeling. Like, I did some modeling, and I really liked that actually. So I became more independent, I can say. And then I started to looking for companies. But even though right now my company, right, it wasn't this kind of contract at the first time. But I really was craving for new music. I was like, you know, when you started, you want to do it. Like music is just like, oh my God. So we just talked with my company, and I didn't want to go to K-pop because these days I think music is so international.
There's no borders.
One cares of what kind of company you are. The most important thing is how people in your company want to make you a successful person. Yes, and that's why I think they are really, really good because they listen to my opinion. And they were like, if you want to do this, we will help you.
Okay.
I'm so
Let's
glad.
make it.
Yeah,
I'm so glad too.
Yeah,
that's good.
This episode is brought to you by Patreon. Join the KPC Patreon to unlock amazing perks like early access to our videos, exclusive podcasts, and monthly K-pop reaction videos, all for just a few dollars a month. Your collective support keeps the channel going, helping us produce better, more informative, and entertaining content. Test how far KPC can go by supporting us at patreon.com/Korean Pizza Club. Thank you so much for your support and hope you enjoy the show. What pops up in my mind hearing all of this is like, it's a very dark subject, honestly, though, but there are very dark cases, tragic cases about celebrities in the K-pop industry, such as 𝙀𝙭𝙘𝙡𝙪𝙨, Seolli, the recent Lee Sung-kyun. They all were cyberbullied and unalive themselves because of like the mental stress and all the struggles. Statistically, it says 41% of celebrities report that online hate impacts their mental health. And not a lot of people consider that or respect that because they're like, oh, you're celebrities, that's your job.
You have to deal with it.
You have to deal with it. You get famous with public publicity, deal with the hate as well. But they're human beings too, and I feel like that's just like ignored, neglected too much. And I think all in all, like the discourses about mental health, it doesn't exist in at least Korea,
Yeah.
or like for the K-pop idols as well. So what are your thoughts about like talks about mental health and stuff? What did you learn through your...
I think it's a really good question. I think the same, because this topic not mentioned a lot, especially in Korea, and people think it's right thing to hate someone, to like write these comments. This is not, like, I think it has to be more, how to say this,
한국어로 해도 돼요.
한번 해도 돼요.
법으로 조금 규정이 되어야 된다고 생각을 해요. 그러니까 international fans too, like international community.
Yeah. There should be some like laws or regulations to protect these
people,
you know, entertainers or celebrities as well as human beings. They deserve like all the protection of the law. And you know, she mentioned like international fans. They're hard to get. It's very hard to reach those international fans that are hating on you. But about mental health though, the subject about it, like it's very absent here, and I'm not an expert on mental health too. It's like a very new thing, honestly, that's been introduced to Korean society, because Korea still, like, if someone says they have depression, a lot of people just look down on them. Like they're like, you're a weak person, depression doesn't exist. You know, if a person goes to like a doctor and gets like pills or whatever, they think you're like a loser or something like that, right? But like it's a real condition, and a lot of celebrities I've heard go to like therapists. Or,
I was just gonna talk about that. So even now, I feel like it wasn't open. A lot of celebrities did go to therapy way before, but now I feel like even there's a lot of variety shows, like you know, like Onyoung, Park Sung, they do like for kids, for idols, for just regular people. And I feel like the public eye in Korea has definitely changed on therapy. Because if you're like, oh, I'm gonna go to therapy, or like, oh, I'm gonna seek help. Now people are like, oh, it's like a little bit okay. So I think a lot of K-pop idols have been also doing therapy, which is great, because your only therapist was either your manager or your members. Or, so you know, it's like literally,
I think we need education about that. Like because these days K-pop idols getting much more younger. Like they debut in really young age. It's like, how you like deal with this? It's really hard. Actually, they're so young to deal with this, right? And also fans. I think we need this kind of education for fans too, because it kind of power that's not controlled at all. And as I already told you, like it's really young people that can be educated in the wrong way because of like K-pop. Because they opinion repeaters when they're so young. Because they don't have their own opinion. They look at other comments in the internet, but they're not good, right? It's like people say whatever they say, like so they believe in it. They like do the same things, right? That's why I think that it's kind of like wrong way to do.
Right.
This is for fans. It's such a topic that's kind of like 애매해, because some fans are also very obsessive. Like I know so many Korean fans are just like fans of K-pop idols. Even for me, they'll just be like, they'll be 삐졌어 for like no reason. If I don't like say hi to them, or if I'm not doing something where I like forgot about them, they'll do that, which also impacts your mental health too, because you're like, oh, they're fans, but up to what point am I gonna be accepting whatever their situation is, or like their attitude towards me? And I think a lot of K-pop idols have trouble with that, because it's like, what am I gonna allow for these fans to do? Like, how am I gonna, like, which boundaries am I gonna be setting? For the fans is also a thing.
As Lana said, I think at the end, you know, talking about mental health needs to get normalized. People need education about mental health. Like, such a realm exists. You know? It's the same as physical health. You know, like I think the atmosphere in general of society needs to change in order for that to like go to the K-pop sphere as well, because K-pop idols or performers are the most affected, in like by online hate and all that. So
yeah, I think even it's just not even hate. It's just pressure from so much people.
Right.
It's like from fans, from the entertainment, from wanting to perform and do better for yourselves. So it's like you have so many things. It's not just online hate.
Yeah, so it's definitely a very important discourse we should have. And statistically, it says only 30% of people that experience online harassment seek for actual mental health professionals or like any kind of therapy.
Yeah.
So we still have a long way to go.
Yeah.
Only 30%.
Yeah.
So I want to ask Lana, since you've gone through so much, to your 𝙀𝙭𝙘s or like newly debuting people or people in the field right now who hasn't dealt with that much online hate or is dealing with it right now, what is your advice? What message do you want to tell them?
For the people, like public people, I want to say just think positive and think what you already have. It's family, friends. Never think about people you don't know that only can write like comments. And for the people who write hate comments, I want to say just think of the other person's like point of view. Like what will you feel if you get this kind of hate?
𝙀𝙭𝙘𝙧.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So yeah, in that's like in a personal level, that's great advice. In an industry level though, like infrastructure wise or like company wise, what do you think should be bettered or improved to like?
That's a whole topic on its own.
Like,
Okay.
Yeah. What did you need? Like what kind of support did you need back then? No.
I think companies should know that artists need this mental support for the artists because they're not just products.
Yeah, we're humans.
Humans. Yeah. We need this kind of support from companies. Yeah, and I just hope we will have this kind of environment in the future, especially in Korean, like K-pop industry. Yeah.
I think it should be like on legal, you know, when you have like the K-pop contracts, it should definitely have one of the clauses of like mental health. And if they want to, because some companies use that against you. They're like, oh, would you like were to sue them? It's like, oh yeah, she was mentally unstable. Really? So
but
that
actually they have this kind of
a clause.
A clause.
Like if you're causing like commotions because of that, and that's also affecting the business and the company, they can take that against you. So I definitely feel like she said, it has to go to the law that you have to have it as a clause. Be like, hey, K-pop idols should have the right to, you know, go to therapists, take care of their mental health, or they should even have it as a clause if they want to. The company should pay for it.
But it's kind of hard because they also have this part of company has to take care of their artists' mental health and also body, like everything. But they don't do this.
They're the ones that are causing the mental.
Yeah, no one wanna like take care of it because it's like costs money.
Yeah, it costs money.
They don't care.
It costs a lot of money. Yeah.
I mean, while we're at despite, you know, not the majority of companies looking after their mental health of their idols, there are improvements though. Looking at the bright side, like I heard JYP has their internal like therapy sessions for like twice or whatever the members. I heard Minijin like actually treats New Jeans like her daughters or like human beings. So she really treats them in a humane way. So as these like bigger companies set examples and like pave the road for that, I think the smaller companies will follow as well. So I think the bigger companies have such a responsibility, and I feel like figures like Lana going online and just talking about this in general just spreads that message. So thank you for being here today. It was like I was so shocked it's the first time you're actually talking about this.
I know.
I don't know. Like, how did you feel? How do you feel now?
I feel so fresh.
I feel like so much
cider. I really wanted to talk about this because like no one talk about it actually, and I'm kind of first soloist, foreign soloist in Korea. That's why I have a lot of tea to talk about,
a lot to unravel.
Yeah, and I really wanted some people know about my situation because it was really hard to a deal by myself,
yeah.
but I kind of feel no one knows. Maybe my fans, they know. But like other people, they don't know about it. That's why I wanted to make it clear. And thank you for having me today.
No, thank you for coming on here. And I hope people watch KPC this episode. Not only fans, but also like journalists and you know, news outlets like, I don't know, All K-pop, Koreaboo. You better write articles about this.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, like if you did damage before, like you better write corrections.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's like the responsibility of journalism as well. So yeah, thank you so much for being on the pod today. Like, thank you so much for opening up with your story. I did not expect it.
Thank you too.
Like, honestly, last night I was checking with our manager. Like, these are the topics. I have options. There were more lighthearted ones.
Yeah.
And then she chose the most like serious one. I was like, oh wow, okay, we're going this way. And then like this was amazing. So thank you so much. And could you put in yet like a promotion of your new single?
Yeah, I just forgot. So my new single Circus is out now on all music platforms like worldwide. So please stream, listen to my song, watch music video, because I did hard work on that one, and this is my new start. That's why I'm so excited, and I hope you like it, guys. Thank you.
So I'll put it on as I'll turn it on as the outro here.
Thank you.
Go check out our interview. I did a reaction to that with Lana. It was amazing. Subin, did you watch it too? Not yet?
Watch it.
You did watch it?
It was good.
It was good. Like
the makeup and the black and white.
She was whole.
Circus,
That was-
dancing.
She actually says bitch in the music video. So go support that. Stream Circus. Go check out her Instagram socials here. I heard she has her own clothing line as well. I'll put it all here. It's Milo?
Yes, it's Milo.
She's wearing that as well. Go support that as well. And hopefully we can have you again for like more talks. Since you have a lot of tea.
I had so much fun today. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.